Hello and welcome to the first official Challenge Code video. This isn't quite how we wanted to come to you, but my name is Sai.
My name's Cameron,
We are your co-hosts
co-host of this podcast,
of this
but
podcast,
of the
indeed.
channel going forward. Yeah.
Um, so essentially, we did want to create this channel with a little bit more of an exciting video as our debut,
Yes.
but the virus has forced us to take up another one of our ideas.
Yeah. We're not even sat next to each other. Like, obviously, we want to be for a podcast.
Yeah.
This is the best we can do.
It's
Not else.
it's
Not
just
that else to be done.
no. Obviously, we'd rather self isolate and reduce the virus than give you some cracking content for the sake of a little bit more.
But we did want to get something out there.
We did.
We've been sitting on this for at least a month or two, getting out these. We've been thinking about so many different ideas for YouTube videos and having.
Yeah, no, this is true.
Ideal release something, and the ideal moment, especially with us, just never seems to be there. So I think it's best just to get something out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so this is it. So what you guys are joining us here for is the podcast arm of the channel.
Yeah.
Where we're going to be discussing, well, to begin with, like what's been happening with our week. Well, since we last spoke to each other, go into like a main topic for that week. So like today we're going to talk about how difficult it is to start YouTube.
Especially, more specifically, how difficult it is during these times.
Yes, very difficult during these times.
Yeah.
But I guess they probably want us just to crack on with the show today.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
So let's get into it. So basically, let's properly introduce what the channel's supposed to be about. And it's supposed to be about challenge videos. You've seen people out there like your Mr. Beast. Trying to think of other prominent channels that have challenges in it. Well, I guess what we model ourselves on is that we love Top Gear.
Yeah.
If any of you guys have seen it, that's our go-to. Maybe not so much always to do with cars, but there'll be some cars in there when we finally get around to shooting some videos. But I think there's certainly some exciting times ahead. There'll be some forfeits, hopefully some travel thrown in there.
Yes.
But ideally, we just want to create a community of people who ideally share the same values that we do about challenging yourself and just having a good time, I guess. But at the moment, we can't do that. So we're doing a podcast where we talk about these things.
And then we bring them to you later. That's okay. They're still coming.
Well, we have, in fact, filmed half a video before the bloody lockdown.
Well, technically, we filmed both parts. It's just... okay. Should we talk about that? Well,
should that be in the later part?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, let's just crack into like what's happened since the last time. Not last time we spoke, but the last time we saw each other, which was just at the beginning of the lockdown. And Sai was my knight in shining armour.
Yes.
He ran into me as I just broken my hand at cricket training and was trying to drive back. And what a lovely dude he was. He chaperoned me back to my flat, making sure I didn't crash.
I was thinking, like, I should have just given you a lift, but obviously, like, then your car would have been stuck, and I could have gotten Sam to, like, come and dropped it off or something. But
I'm so precious about my car.
Yeah.
My car's Goldblum at the end of the day. That's what its name is.
Jeff.
I can't have anyone else touching it, so I thought I'll drive with one hand.
Yeah.
But it was all right. You saw me from behind. Oh, hey ho. It's all right, didn't it?
No. You're fine. It's just I've not known many people to be. And then I've not known many people to drive with a broken hand, so I just thought.
Well, I didn't know it was broken at that point. I should stress.
Yes.
I knew I'd hurt it at training.
How did you hurt it again?
I got hit right on the back of the hand by a professional bowler, bowling at 80 miles an hour, which is.
Was he actually an 8-year-old?
No, he plays for Surrey, which is the professional team here in the UK, and it hurt like an absolute mother trucker. It did.
A mother trucker, nice.
But that was ages ago now. Thinking about it, that was early March.
Early March. That was before that was early March.
Before yours and my birthday.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
like, so
And those
that's
went very well in quarantine, didn't they?
yeah. We were the first. I think, if I'm honest with you, I remember feeling extra salty because I thought we would just be in quarantine for 3, maybe 4 weeks.
Same.
I thought, God's sake, we are the the unlucky people
Yeah,
that are going to have to celebrate their birthdays
yeah.
in quarantine. But it's becoming the norm now. Every other day, you see
Yeah,
friends like having a birthday. At least now, I guess people can kind of meet up outside. But when we had ours, it was strictly stay indoors, non-essential travel outside.
yeah.
Um,
Well, I was going to have a party the weekend lockdown started,
yeah, and
and people were still sort of suggesting that I should still have it, and I was like,
you did the right. No, you did. You
Yeah,
definitely did the right thing. Because even a month before that, we had this big cricket tournament up at university, and everyone. It was like a a virus hotspot. Just everyone piled in on top of each other.
yeah.
I wasn't surprised that it kicked off. No, you did the right thing of cancelling your party. To be honest with you,
I
as much
think,
as it sucks.
yeah. Again, it was for the right thing. People were annoyed, and I think someone still might have had a party. I'm not going to name names or speculate too much, but
was that during the lockdown though?
Well, I think it was the
party?
same weekend.
Yeah.
But again, I think it might have been a lot. It would have been a lot smaller, and my conscience is clear, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because again, the whole thing is that it's not. It doesn't really affect younger people like us, you know.
It doesn't affect us so much. You'd be unlucky, sorry, to get it and really get ill from it.
Yeah.
But I think the real worry is that you're going to spread it without knowing.
Exactly.
Asymptomatic. Yeah. That's the real kicker. Especially for someone like me, because I work part-time at a supermarket.
Yeah.
I was really quite concerned that I would catch it, not know it, and give it off to all these elderly people that were in the shop. Although it's on them a little bit that they get so damn close to me.
Do they get a bit touchy?
Touchy-feely, and it doesn't matter if there's a virus or no virus, they get very close to me.
Oh, God. Who can blame them?
Well, true.
Yeah.
But actually what was quite concerning was that one week I was supposed to have holiday.
Okay.
And obviously I wasn't going to be going on holiday. I was due to be going to lovely Cornwall.
Yeah.
But obviously that was cancelled. So I was just going to have the week off from work.
Mm-hmm.
And I got called just before my shift was supposed to not happen. And my boss was like, I really need you to come in because the lady who's covering what your job specifically is, she just got the virus.
Brilliant.
And so I was like, but doesn't she how is she, does she go anywhere else? He was like, no, she only comes to the shop and she only works on the section that I work in, which is the flowers in the front of the shop.
Brilliant.
And I was like, oh, great. Okay, yeah, well, I'll throw myself in there too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have felt it's the first time I've been working part-time at that supermarket for nearly 7 years. Mm-hmm. It's the first time I felt like I've been doing a necessary job.
An important role, yeah, I get you.
An important role, which is something that I know that people have been respecting key workers and so on, but I really feel that especially bus drivers and shop assistants have really put themselves out there during this crisis.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And really the protection is only just starting to come through, especially for us.
Yeah.
Now that we've got a mask and gloves, but that didn't come for at least 6 weeks.
No.
During the peak time of the pandemic. So,
I remember my friend Chris. His brother thought he had it, and I'm pretty sure he did. And he works at a supermarket as well, so he didn't go in for 2 weeks. But when he went in, he wasn't given anything. And they just sort of said, yeah, bring your own stuff, which is sort of doesn't make sense to me.
But who actually does have their own stuff?
Yeah, especially here.
Who are these mad people that are prepared for something like this? Well, actually, one person who was inadvertently prepared was my mother.
Yeah.
Who every time we went on holiday, she would buy from the airports the little antibacterial.
The little
wash it.
Yeah.
And of course, but she made it kind of a ritual to buy at the airport one every single time before we went. But she would never really use it when we were away, maybe once or twice.
She was inadvertently a hoarder.
Yeah, inadvertently. So when it came to, when all the panic buying and so all the toilet
Yeah,
rolls gone,
yeah,
all of the hand sanitizer gone, like we had, good few bottles that were just left over from previous holidays.
yeah.
Um, so we had at least that. But no, but who actually has like the face masks
I think
and so on?
I think
Um, I,
my dad might have them when he travels into places that wear them more frequently.
oh
Um,
really?
yeah, so I think when he's taken flights, he's like put them on before. So I think he had
Okay.
like one or two, but again,
Yeah, but
here in
not
the
your whole
West,
family.
no, not, like we don't have a stock in the house or something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no one here in the West really wears masks.
Well,
You know.
in fact, I went to Greece about 2 weeks before the lockdown here.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 weeks before. Um, and they just got their first case there, and they were starting to panic. And in fact, we came back the day before they locked down everything there.
Right.
So
Okay.
all the metro was completely reduced. All of the key touristic places closed down,
Yeah.
um, and they were advising people to stay inside. And they only had one case in hospital at that point, and I think only six cases of it.
Yeah.
Um, and that could be half the reason why they've had so little deaths in a
Yeah.
place that doesn't have as good as medical system as say we have.
Yeah.
They locked down a lot quicker than we did. But what I was
It's
going to
true.
say was that I saw people with masks on then,
Mhm.
and they were ridiculed at that point. Like, oh, why have you got these masks on? Like, you're taking this a bit too much, too
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
And then look at us now. Like a month later, everyone's cramming trying to find
Find
any that.
masks. Yeah.
I think it's quite amazing how much we've changed within a couple months. I wonder how long it's going to take for us to get back
So back to normal. Yeah. Yeah.
to something about giving each other a hug, not thinking let's keep our distance from one another.
Yeah.
I hope it's not too long because I really do miss that. Um,
It's so strange how society's changed so quickly. You know,
yeah,
you don't nothing does this too.
or
Um.
maybe, but it's also I think it's somewhat a good sign because I don't know, like, this has been horrendous, and anyone who's been affected by it, like, I'm sure we all maybe know someone. I know definitely someone quite close that's been affected by the
Yeah.
virus. But it's not Spanish flu-esque level of a pandemic.
Of no of fatality.
Yeah, this feels
You
like a
know.
good, not trial because obviously there has been
Yeah.
horrendous results from it, but this feels like a good practice, as it were, for if something really, really horrendous came. And the fact that we have shown as somewhat, I'd say, the majority of people have kept to the new guidelines and so on. So we've shown we can do it
I
if it
think.
comes to it.
Yeah. If it comes to it, I think hopefully this just more prepares us for and unfortunately, you know, as many places have reported, this won't be the last time this happens. You know,
No,
and if anything, with the rate of deforestation and you know, the amount of meat consumed, etc., this is just going to
well,
increase.
have you heard about that like wasting away disease or something like in which is in deer or something in North America, I
No.
believe. So it's where it's got 100% like mortality rate if you catch it. Like
Okay.
every deer that has caught this parasite, it literally wastes. It's horrendous. It like eats them from the inside,
Oof.
and they go
Right.
mad, and then they die. It's not quite rabies, I don't think,
No.
but every deer that's caught it dies. And
Yeah.
this is what apparently scientists are really, really concerned about because they're just praying it hasn't yet made the leap to
To
humans.
humans. Yeah.
But what they're worried about is that if some like hunter kills one of these deers that has it,
Yeah.
eats that deer, and then potentially it transports to humans then,
Yeah.
like that, 100% death rate, that scares them.
That's
The
pretty
big part
scary.
thing. Um, and an
I
agonising death.
exactly
So
exactly.
I'm not saying this wouldn't be agonising if
Oh
because
no,
obviously you hear
not being able to
the
breathe.
horrible stories, yeah, of people in the ICU and so on.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I think this has proven that we as a society can, when times get tough, you know, change. Which,
Yeah.
well, most of us, I think we've all seen people
There
breaking
are
the rules.
outliers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wonder how the new rule that just came in yesterday from Big
So,
Boris here in the UK,
28th. Clarify. Yeah.
the 28th.
Yeah.
about that we can now meet, or not? Yeah, we can meet in groups of six outside of our
6,
home. We
yeah.
still have to be
Socially
2 meters
distanced.
apart.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder how that's going to look like. Just
I
like
think it's going to look like
big
we're all
groups.
sat around in a circle singing Kumbaya.
Yeah, I think that's very, very. How do I put this? Very, very, very interesting from Boris to allow that to happen when we're still not at a rate that I would suggest.
Yeah,
Like we're talking about that at our level, isn't it?
yeah, the R number, yeah.
R rate or whatever.
Yeah.
So from what I've heard, maybe it's changed. We're still not like near 0.5, which I
No.
think is what they want.
So it has to
Um,
be below 1 to count as a decline, like a full decline or something.
but I think we are below 1,
I
aren't
think
we?
we are
But we're
below 1,
not
but it's
near
not like
0.5, which is what they said would be. I think that's what they said. We would go to the next
yeah.
level of easing the lockdown.
I think it is a bit premature. I think even the lockdown sort of, instead of the shift from stay at home to stay alert, like I
Yeah.
think that was very premature. I think if we had like the extra week of that, and then it just had we had this week, he announced, oh, you can meet 6 people and you could go for unlimited exercise, and that would have been a lot more effective. Personally, again, we're not virologists, we don't know,
No.
but
I think it's very daring of Boris just to assume that I have 6 friends to meet anyway.
I mean, what are you suggesting, my friend?
I'm I'm just going to be there on my own. Maybe you. So
I mean,
come and see me.
I don't have 6 friends, Cameron. You're my only
Yeah.
friend.
This is it.
This
It's
is it.
just me and you.
This is what we're doing anyway.
This is it, yeah.
This
But
is
on
what
that note, we will have people on the channel and
we
hopefully on the
will.
podcast at the points. Like,
We will. We definitely will.
but at the moment,
That won't be as
you
glamorous as Joe Rogan, but well, maybe there will
no,
be at one
maybe.
point.
Who knows? If we grow.
Yes.
But
I think. Yeah.
one
Sorry.
thing I'm hoping. So no, I was just going to say, like, just touch on the lockdown. I'm hoping that people will stop, because I live in like a shared flat. Not
Yeah.
no, I'm in a shared flat, but we're in like this kind of housing unit which has about, I'd say, 15 flats in it,
Yeah.
and we have a communal garden,
Hmm.
which before the lockdown, no one except this lovely dog and his owner used. No
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
So it's just been really nice in it, and empty, and squirrels run free and everything. But ever since the lockdown, the amount of half-naked people I've seen sunbathing out there, and these are
Why?
not people that you want to see out there, has
Oh,
been
brilliant.
rather disturbing. In fact, if I look out now, there's a full naked man. It's common. It's common
Usually you
sight,
have to
and
pay to see that, so some would claim you're lucky. Some.
some would, but I would definitely pay to not have that view out my window. But what's quite awkward is I don't know anyone here, so I can't even like. Actually, I don't think I
Oh,
want to
hello.
have a conversation with him.
No,
Hello.
not when he's got his
Derek.
bits out.
Yeah, fortunately, it's the other way around, but I'm getting the other view.
That's not really. I would say, if anything, that's that's not really winning. That's you're
I
just
don't
not
know.
losing there.
I think you'd rather see a man's bottom than.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it's just preferable if you didn't have to see any
Preferable
of
if you
his
wouldn't have to
nether
see it at all.
regions.
Absolutely, but I just might close the curtains, I guess.
I might. Well, we need the light, so
Oh, we
you're
need
not
to
allowed
let
to.
Oh, for God's sake, I'll keep staring at his butt.
Just
then.
keep getting mooned the rest of the episode.
Wonderful. I'll try and not get too distracted.
Onto something a little bit more serious, and I don't know if you've
More
seen
serious
this.
than the lockdown.
More serious than lockdown, I'd say.
Okay.
Just because, yeah, it's not as
No, let's roll with this. It's more serious than the lockdown.
it's more
Whatever
it's more serious than
more serious.
it actually is. So, no joke.
Okay. Alright.
Have you the man that was shot dead? Not shot dead. Sorry, killed by cops in
With him
America.
kneeling on his neck.
Knee on his neck. George Floyd is his name.
It's just horrific, isn't it?
It's just shocking. I think most of us have seen the video by this point.
Yeah.
We're not going to show it on here.
No.
Um,
I think it would be horrendous incident if this was a one-off.
mm,
You know, you just heard on the news, man killed by police officer while like leaning on his neck or whatever, or
Yeah.
kneeling on his neck. But the fact that this is such a repetitive thing you're hearing about police brutality against black people, especially in America.
Yeah.
It just makes it even harder to swallow that this hasn't been clamped down on. I haven't actually seen, like, has that police officer been arrested himself, or
I believe he's been suspended. Again, I'm not sure. As like, there's not been that much information about what's happened to the police officer.
but
There's
it's not even
all of
hearsay, is it? The video shows that the police officer was in the wrong, quite clearly in the wrong.
So there was arguments as to whether the police report filed. This much
Right.
I do know. The police report filed said so police attended a scene where forgery was being committed by supposedly George Floyd. I don't know.
Okay.
And he was drunk as well. He was under the influence. And when they tried to cuff him and take him in, he didn't respond well to that. And he fought back. Was the report, and due to him fighting back is why they had to call an ambulance, and they realized that he wasn't breathing right or something, is what the report said, and they called an ambulance then.
Right.
And he died in hospital, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fair for us to question the official story, because to me that seems like.
Well, the video shows the
bollocks.
official story, though. Like, even if I don't really think it matters exactly. Well, obviously, if he was doing something completely heinous to begin with, then you could take drastic action. But once you've got him detained on the ground, and I assume you've got cuffs on you, cuff him.
Yeah, he was cuffed.
There is no need to continuously press on the back of his neck when he's saying that he's struggling to breathe.
I can't breathe. Yeah. And the issue for me is that, obviously, it's not the first time a black male's said I can't breathe and then suffered as a result from that.
So, like, the question is it a racist issue? Like, would that police officer have done the same thing if it was a white gentleman in the same situation?
I mean,
potentially. I guess we don't really know. But the fact is that is there a correlation between all these horrendous incidences that we hear where black people are getting killed by police brutality, much more than you hear about police brutality against white folk? So,
I mean, I don't.
It's just horrendous anyway.
It's horrendous either way. But there's lots of things going about the specific police officer supposedly attempted to shoot another black man.
Right.
A little while ago, in 2008 or 2009, something like that.
Okay.
Again, like that could be completely taken out of context.
Well, I was going to say, like, as much as I'm liking this police officer, I guess you'd have to really see what that situation was.
Yeah.
It could just be a coincidence.
It could be a coincidence. He could have been, responding to a more violent crime.
Exactly.
And it might have been necessary at that point.
If he was just going on a Hail Mary, going after black folk with a gun, then maybe that you would have cause to question his motives. But we don't know that.
No, we don't.
And I would also point out, with whatever we say within these podcasts, especially news related, we are idiots.
We really are.
Don't take us as your news source, please. If you hear anything we say which is questionable, go and check it yourself.
Yeah, we're just here to sort of talk about provide commentary on our opinions. We're not here to talk about the news. I mean, we'll give you a little
rundown of what's
going on, but it's more from our opinion. I think what's more worrying is, all of the riots it's the third night now. It's the third night that riots have gone on. It's just.
I think something like this was always going to get traction, though.
Especially after. I can't remember how long ago. I think it was sort of as the beginning of lockdown started, so sort of March, April time. Ahmed Arbery, I don't know if you heard about him.
Yeah.
He was running, and I don't believe these police were even on duty. They got into an altercation, and they sorry, what was that?
Were they police officers?
I believe they were police officers, but I don't think they were police officers on duty at the time.
Right. Okay.
I might be wrong about that. Let me just have a little look while you. But yeah, he was.
Because
in a similar sort of situation. So no, they were
I could do that.
so they were
I thought they were friends in
former
public.
police,
Former police, okay.
um, former police and his son. So and
Okay.
come on,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like they followed him. They followed him in their car while he was running.
Well, the amount of people that I guess we've been on a walk or something, and it says, I know me and you have personally been on a walk, and we've been to an area which says like no entry or just private property or something, and you just
Yeah.
have a little look round.
Yeah.
And I've never expected to be chased out of there, like by people with guns.
Again, I'm not sure if he even was in private property sort of thing. I think it was he ran past their front yard or something.
I for some reason I thought the story was that he kind of like just looked in and kind of looked a bit suspicious, but apparently he was just having a look. But I could be wrong again.
It's possible. It's possible.
But at the same time, none of it condones him getting shot when he was running away.
Not. I think there is a key issue here as well. I'm not saying the UK is innocent. There have been the police force has lost black lives, and I'm not saying that the police force is innocent here or anywhere in the world. People die all the time, and it's not.
It's a lot more prevalent in the US, though.
Yeah, it is. I think.
How would you fix it, Si?
Again, the issue is with gun culture as well in America. I think. Well, not to get onto a topic.
No,
so
maybe it's a topic for another day.
So fraught, but it seems that police are more willing to use firearms in America than they are here. But I think, especially when it comes to sort of knife crime as well.
Agreed, but I think the racist nature of it is systemic from the culture set from the top down.
Right.
Like, let's be honest, Trump with was it Charlestown? What was that? Right near the beginning of his beginning of presidency.
Yeah.
When he supported or he didn't condemn like the actions of like a group of racists. He didn't retweet our National Front or. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember something of the sort, but it was a. I cannot for the life of me remember now, but I do know what you're talking about.
But he's not come out and properly condemned the actions of like racist behaviour. I'm not saying he's come out and been saying that is what you should be doing, but he's not done what a president should do.
Should do, yeah.
And come out and completely condemn such behaviour and say how abhorrent it is and stamp it down from the top down. And I think when your president gives off that notion of it's okay, it's not good, but you're not going to be horrendously.
But I do think these roles, prime minister, president, like as much as they are sort of the face of a country sometimes, and they have massive amounts of influence. We do forget that sometimes they are still people. As much as Trump seems more of an orange than a person, he still has opinions. He still has biases, and
he does. But when you're president of the country, especially of the leader of the free world, you may have opinion on certain facts, and I guess that's half the reason why he's been elected is because he's not scared to show how he feels.
Supposedly,
there is certain thing called being presidential, and one of those things is being diplomatic or being non-biased on tactful, exactly. And there are certain things you do not do, i.e. advising people to bloody drink bleach or whatever to clean out your insides. These are things you do not do. And let's also be honest, he's a normal person, but he's not president. He's not presidential. He doesn't have the qualifications to be a president.
Again, I think qualifications vary, and I think it's more about the way that you carry yourself. I think so. Yeah, I think so. I would argue that.
Barack. Yeah,
I think the way that Barack Obama conducted himself versus the way Trump conducted himself, regardless of the Republican Democrat divide, is massively different.
Well, like I say, the key thing, Obama was presidential.
Yeah.
You trusted in what he said.
Yeah. Even if he was lying to you, which...
Even if he was lying
Which is a point I just wanted to touch on. There was an article in The Independent, so, not 100%, but they looked at the number of times Trump lied,
Uh,
and it was
yeah,
something ridiculous. Like in 2017 or 18, he lied like at almost 70% of the time, or something stupid, or
yeah,
there
yeah.
were mistruths, or basically he's never 100% accurate.
Well, I studied one of my favorite things that I studied at university was American politics,
Okay,
and I studied it right around the time of the election.
okay,
And something that was discussed and brought up was that there was a statistical study made on the amount of lies said in all of both Hillary's speeches
okay,
and Trump's,
okay.
and it was proven that. And okay, I'm not going to just make up the number off the top of my head, but it was a vast difference between the two. He was a lot more. He lied a lot more.
Yeah,
And the survey then asked his supporters how they felt about it,
yeah.
and they still were unanimously in favour that he was more trustworthy than Hillary,
Which is just
even
blows
when
my
faced with
mind.
the fact that he's literally lied more than she has. But I guess that email scandal,
That really threw
hurt
she
so
threw
badly.
herself under the bus.
Yeah, but imagine like being told, like, out of me and you, like, Psy lies more,
Okay.
but we still believe Psy is more trustworthy, is more as
It just
like in
doesn't.
Cameron.
Could you imagine that? Like, if you ask some of these people, if you ask some of these people and they like had a business, for example, and you
Yeah,
told them one of their employees lies all the time, and then one of them
yeah,
doesn't, and like they're in the same position, you're going to get rid of one of them,
you
and it's
would.
not going to be the one that tells the truth all the time.
But
So
then it
why
brought
is
up another.
and like the president is essentially a government employee.
It is, but it brought up a question of what do people in America at that point at least value most? Was it trust in their leader, or was it someone who was completely anti-innovation? And obviously, they showed how they felt in the end. But yes, no, that's
I
a
think
joyous
it's just
discussion how we ended up in this place with Trump
no,
being there,
no, I know, but
wasn't it?
it's just irksome sometimes with the stuff he says.
It is, and in some cases dangerous,
Yeah,
as we've proven
yeah,
with
absolutely.
his like
With his
non-committal stance on like racist behaviour and the damn
yeah,
drinking bleach and all this stuff. So
there was one specific lie that stood out to me, and it was I think he was in Germany, or it's something to that effect. He was in Germany or he's in Europe, and then he was talking about his grandfather, and he was like, "Oh, my grandfather was born in Germany, right?" He kept saying that. He said that like 6 times or something, and his granddad's born in New York.
yeah, I was gonna say his grandfather wasn't born in Germany.
No, so why is he? My granddad's German. My granddad is German. That's more Boris Johnson than Trump.
That is more
But
Boris, but I don't even
yeah,
think Boris would. I trust Boris more than I would Trump. That is
isn't
saying
that
something. I'm not
scary?
a
That's
huge
saying
Boris
something.
fan.
No, same. I know everyone loved him when he was mayor of London for some reason.
Well, I think because, and that shows the disregard for like a mayorship role.
Yeah,
I think he was seen as the bumbling fool
yeah,
that was, but like in a classic British like upper class, we can all get behind such a bumbling fool. One of his
yeah.
key things that he was campaigning for, that he wanted to put trampolines all the way along the embankment so people would have a funner way to commute to work. Like, who wouldn't vote for someone like that?
Well, yeah.
But then when it's getting to a case of him being our prime minister, or even when he was our foreign secretary, I was like, oh my goodness,
This is
how have
just
we
going to
come
be
to
an
this?
absolute car crash.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see how he comes out of this situation, especially with Dominic. What's his face?
Dominic Cummings.
Dominic Cummings.
Yeah.
He's not shown himself with much glory here with how he's defended him.
I mean,
'cause I think Boris was. I know it sounds awful, but Boris was helped by the fact he got sick.
I think oh no, 100%, and
obviously not physically helped.
No, but
horrendous for him.
Probably.
But the country,
100%
got behind him, and willed for him to come back and so on. And I saw a lot more on social media, a lot more support for him after that, and the statistics showed that it went up.
Yeah.
But I think post him coming back, we were all expecting a more detailed plan of how we were going to get back to normal. That didn't come, and then this Dominic Cummings scandal where he's been. What's your stance on it, Si, about old Dom?
Okay, to be fair, I don't think he did something wrong necessarily as a citizen, right? Because you are technically allowed to travel. You are allowed to meet with one person, and you're
But
allowed to.
but we weren't at that point.
No. But
This was before my birthday. This
is before. Oh, really?
This was the 27th of March.
I thought it was after. Okay. Well,
So he's
again,
driven all that way when we were supposed to stay inside. Okay, the question was about, was it an essential?
Exactly. Yeah.
Essential travel, but then that's like 30-mile drive to the castle to test his eyesight. No, it's just
that's bollocks. That's bollocks.
It totally is.
So I would I was under the impression it was after.
No, it's 27th of March.
27th of March. Okay, 27th of March. Then, yeah. So 27th of March is essentially a week after lockdown. No, 2 weeks after lockdown started.
Yeah, so it was still within that first 3-week period, even because nothing changed after that 3 weeks, but especially in that first period when we were really being told to stay inside and so on. So
I would say then there's no excuse for any. Well,
do you think he should have been sacked?
I think so. Because at the minimum, he was ignoring medical safety, by going out ridiculously, unnecessary trips.
Yeah.
And at the maximum, he's setting a really bad example for people who, might see the government as a reliable source of information, and
Yeah. Well, some argue he is, or not. It's not. Some would argue he is almost the prime minister's voice.
Yeah.
He's the one that comes up with his strategies and so on. He was the one who masterminded the Brexit campaign.
Yeah.
And so, if this man would have had a key say in the lockdown restrictions and policies,
likely, yeah, it's very likely, yeah.
For him to go against what he has stipulated should be right for all of us, I think that just shows a complete disregard for the rest of us.
It seems like it was one rule for them, one rule for someone else. Again, if it was essential travel and if it was something that had to be done, then I'd understand. But
he's using the kid card, though, isn't he? Like that only his wife couldn't look after the kid. He couldn't look after the kid, so that he drove up there to give it to his parents. Give the kid to his parents to look after. That was the rule. That's what I think they said. But I still think. I think about the countless families who have been faced with the same dilemma.
Yeah.
But have not done that because they've been told. Yeah. And one, they're not allowed to drive, and two, they can't go and see or go near their elderly parents or grandparents.
I don't know.
Have. So,
yeah.
Well, look in Scotland. Their actual health minister, even though this was mad, like she was the person who was giving complete advice on what to do during the lockdown.
Yeah.
And then she just got caught going to her second home for no. And
when it specifically says no travel to second homes.
Yeah, and she did it. But the thing is, she stepped down almost straight away. I believe.
Yeah.
But this guy just seems to have a bit more arrogance to him. I can't see.
Which is fine in times of normal goings on, but it's not really what people need right now. People need one line that they can follow. I think.
Do you agree with Boris that we need to just move on now because he's not going to go? Boris has, come out in favour of him countless times now. Do we just need to move on as a public and deal with another issue?
I think people will naturally sort of move on, and I think that's when it's okay to move on, sort of thing. Because at that point, like there's nothing to be done then.
Yeah.
But there's also a point to be said. There's also a point to be said quickly about how quickly we forget stuff.
Yes, and sometimes we shouldn't. Like what's happened in the US.
Exactly. So Ahmed Arbery was, when was that? That was in April, 20th of April, and a lot of people had forgotten that, I think.
Well,
already by the time this happened, and and then it's brought up again, which is it's fine again. But that's just the way that society works. But
there are things that need to be remembered, and I think especially the attraction that's happening now.
Yeah.
What happened a few days ago is good in a sense. I think this needs to be highlighted.
It's just not ideal with like the pandemic that so many people are meeting for protests and stuff. But I just hope that nothing bad. I hope that no one else is hurt or injured during the protests, because
Yeah.
that's possible as well. There was
But
some.
talking, oh,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, talking and moving on. We've
Yes,
spoken a lot about the lockdown and the virus and so on,
we have.
and it is such a key point, and we're probably going to come back to it again. But like, I think people have been saturated with the amount of virus talk.
100%. Yeah.
So perhaps we should move on to what was going to be the main point of the podcast today, which was about how difficult it is starting a YouTube channel, and especially during the lockdown.
Yes.
So, yeah, shall we move on to that?
Yeah, we've had a fair few. Well, we've had a difficult couple of days trying to sort this out, haven't we?
Well, so what you're seeing now, people, is something that has taken, like you say, a few days to get to. But actually, just the concept. We started this in school. We were best friends at school, Si and I. But that was what we'd spoke about, doing some kind of a YouTube challenge, travel type channel, since what, 6-7 years ago?
Yeah,
5 years ago?
yeah, somewhere around that ballpark. Yeah.
And then we went to uni, got a bit, I'd say, distant from one another, maybe. And fortunately, we've come back together like the happy couple we are.
We have.
Si actually has his own channel, which you should all check out. It's called Wheel Talk. It's excellent.
Thanks very much. Thanks for the plug.
All about anything cars. Yeah, no, it's wonderful. But that was without, obviously that is all you and you and Jack and so on.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm right in saying that it was us, it was a group of us that initially came up with the idea of us starting the channel together.
It was.
And it's only taken us 5-6 years to get our first video out.
Yeah.
Let's hope it doesn't take another 5 to 6 years before the next one.
Definitely not. Well, we have half of it filmed. We've
got half of one film, but we did discuss, I'd say, us starting up this channel about, 3 months ago? 2 months ago? No,
yeah. Well, before lockdown.
Okay, so yeah, we've been trying this for at least 3-4 months. We've been planning on our channel.
As far as I can, yeah.
It could even be longer.
I thought it was longer.
It could be like 5. It could be 5. I don't know anymore. I don't even know what day, what month it is. But since the turn of the year, I'd say.
I mean, all I remember is that it was cold when we started talking about it, and it was now cold. Bloody boiling.
And now there's people naked in your garden, suntanning. Yes, so that shows how long it's taken for us to get this out.
Yeah.
But I would say, and the reason for it and why I brought it up is there's been so many different issues that has been put in front of us to just try and get a video out.
Yeah.
Let alone the normal issue of trying to find a niche or trying to find an interest. But firstly, the camera equipment or the sound equipment, we didn't have we've got like one microphone, which hopefully we'll improve upon.
Yeah. That is the plan anyway. Yeah.
I would say this, and obviously we don't know where this is going to go, if it's going to grow or something, we hope so, but you don't need all the fancy gizmos. Like right now we've just got some iPhone stuff and laptop and so on. Just get out there and start creating. I think that's something we need to do ourselves, and we are starting at least. Because let's be honest, we've even put this off because we were hoping that we would have a podcast sat down next to each other. It would be so much better than this, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
But how long do we wait? None of us are getting younger.
No, and YouTube is getting more and more saturated. So
yes, but I think for us, we wanted to get something out there.
And I think honestly, like I know I definitely learn by doing, and I know a lot of people do tend to learn by doing and making mistakes. It takes some people longer than others, but
we are going to make many mistakes.
Yeah, but and by that accord, the best way to start YouTube and to do well, I think, is just to post videos. And just hit that record button and learn from what you've done. Like, watch your videos back, be a little bit narcissistic.
Well, yeah, and like we want people to comment and give us constructive criticism, tell us what you prefer, what you think we've done well, what you'd like to see here in the future. Like, all of that we'd be really grateful to.
We really would.
To have. Or just think, like, stupid mistakes we make all the time. We tried to do this yesterday.
Yes.
And then for 10-15 minutes, I couldn't hear Si.
Yes.
But I had him on call on my phone. So I heard him here, and he was just asking me, could I hear? So the earphones was like, no. He could hear me through this, but I couldn't hear him. And it turned out through this whole time, we were checking out all different volumes, this and that and the other. I'm not very technically savvy, but even for me, this was incredible.
This was a new low.
And so I was like, you haven't got your computer, your laptop on mute. I'm like, no. And then it dawned on me about 5 minutes later, after checking more things out, I had in fact just muted my whole laptop. So
that was fun.
So that was what, and then when we'd got all of that done, we were just starting to record. So this was yesterday, and then
this is my fault.
and then we had some issue with a little audio, and we were just like, okay, we'll just fix that quickly. We just started. We just done about a 30-second intro, and then Sai for some reason picks up his camera and drops it.
Yeah.
and it breaks, and so we couldn't record yesterday either.
No. That was.
And so these are situations very much synonymous with us being stupid, which will which I think everyone will go to get even more of an instance of us being stupid with more videos we put out there.
And I think I just
very stupid.
I'd just like to go back to the point of gear, just off the camera falling and breaking, is that we don't have any webcams in this. I don't think people really use webcams anymore. And obviously, I was like, I'll just go on Amazon. That'll solve the problem. No webcams anywhere that are in stock. I had to use my iPhone. Tried to use my laptop, which has got a nostril cam with where it's placed. That didn't go very well. But my point is that the less gear you have, the more creative you get about how you do things. And if anything, I think that's a good way to sort of start making content. Because the more content, the more stuff that you eventually get or invest in, you're going to be better at using it.
Absolutely. And we're starting from ground zero, people.
We really are. I might post how my phone is mounted currently.
So people can see it.
So people can see it, because it's quite entertaining.
Yeah.
But
okay. Yeah, no, sure. We'll put something up, and we've got an Instagram. We do. Which follow us on that.
Yeah.
That'll be in the link in the description.
It will be.
Loads on YouTube.
It will be.
And we have our email as well, which will be useful in our next section, which we'll talk about in a bit.
Yes.
So go follow us on there to see it when we are putting up a video, which will hopefully be.
This is our Instagram. There's nothing on it, obviously, at the moment.
Nothing on it at the moment, but there will be. There will be.
There definitely will be. So go follow us at _challenge_co. Yeah.
Yeah. But getting on, like, we've had so many different ideas, and we wanted to start this channel off with a bang. And I think that is a lot of people get into that situation where they really want to hit the ground running with it, and we did, and that was why we put off for so long.
Yeah.
And we have, as we were saying, half a video. I don't want to give away what it is.
Yeah.
But a little sneak peek. It involves a race.
Yes.
It involves
a challenge.
Forfeit.
Yeah.
And it involves a foreign country and a mountain. There we go.
Yes. And a very big city.
And a very big city. And we filmed this before the lockdown. So this was what?
So this was 2 weeks before lockdown. So early March.
3 months ago. So
yeah.
I don't know. But then we had a bit of an issue with Sai's video or audio.
No, it was my audio. Again, so we got into the trap of I'm going to buy more equipment because that's what I need. Yeah. And really, I could have filmed with my camera. It would have been a lot easier, and we'd have a video up by now.
Exactly. So, and we thought it would just be a quick fix, didn't we? Like, oh, well, Sai, you go and do your bit.
Yeah.
Like the next week or whatever, and by the next week, everything was shut down.
Everything was shut up. Like you couldn't go anywhere.
No, and admittedly, that's not our fault exactly. But if, like you were saying, Sai, if maybe we'd done things a bit differently, we'd have that.
I just think it's about opportunity there a little bit, because we had the opportunity to do it right first time round, even if it was going to suffer a tiny bit for the quality, but we should have taken the hit for our own sake, the perfectionism side of ourselves, and should have just put something out there, because it would have been more entertaining than nothing.
Yeah, and don't get us wrong, we want to have the most pretty and looking videos and
absolutely.
Best audio and so on, but maybe I think the story is the most important, just getting something out there.
Yeah.
And
there are more important. Exactly. There are more important things that you could work on that help that.
Yeah.
Lighting is a massive influence that people don't really realize, and your
Mhm.
camera phone,
Yeah.
primo.
But we're getting there. I think the
We
moral
are,
story
we
is that
are.
we're realizing some of our mistakes, learning from some of those issues we've had previously, and
Yeah,
we're trying to get going as much as possible. Admittedly, we still can't meet up properly. Well, I guess actually
we
as long as
can,
we
but
keep clean meters, it's still difficult to
again, and
do what we want to
I
do
I think you're supposed to still stay outside as much as possible, sort of thing.
or stay inside.
Well, when you meet up, you're not supposed to stay outside.
Oh yeah. But I
Yeah,
thought you meant
no,
for not for unnecessary
no. But
unnecessary trips. Really, is
I
it?
mean, so if, for example, we were to meet up, we'd have to do this podcast outside, and I don't know how that's going to work.
Yeah, no, and so
You
I
know,
guess until we do get the green light on people allowed to go somewhat back to normal, we are going to have to do things more distant. So
yeah,
maybe you
absolutely.
can expect to see on the channel a few potentially gaming challenges between ourselves.
Yeah,
I am horrific at all things games except FIFA, which I'm still pretty bad at.
and I'm pretty shocking at FIFA.
So that could be quite fun.
What I think was it? No, I can't remember. But I was playing against someone from school and I lost. I think 12-0, something stupid like that.
Oh, wonderful! Just for my own ego, we should do that.
Oh, please, no.
But yeah, every
but
game
yes.
I'm just horrific at. So potentially that's something we'll try and get up on the channel.
I think we are planning to do some of that at some point next week. But
Yeah.
for now, you're probably going to get a little bit more podcasty content.
So yeah, so we're going to be doing podcasts for the most part to begin with. So you're going to hear a lot from us, just our different thoughts and things from now on. Oh, not from now on, but until we can meet up
in person. Yeah.
And also, like we said, eventually we'd like to have our own somewhat studio or just a space that we can record next to each other to do this rather than online. Obviously, we're at the mercy of poor internet, bad connection, and just and it's also just difficult, like not really being able to sit next to you, see each other's expressions and so on, and not wanting to talk over each other and stuff like that. So this isn't ideal. We know that.
No, it's quite awkward as well when you're trying to, if I say something and it's not quite clear, it's hard for me to understand whether you've took it on board or not.
Yeah. We are kind of guessing at this point.
Yeah.
It's going okay though.
Yeah, okay. I think it's going okay.
Run, I think we'll find out if it's gone okay or not.
I think it will be. Yeah.
But I think it's okay. But I guess for what we're trying to say, it is difficult starting a YouTube channel for the reasons that you may not be confident. I certainly am not too confident speaking publicly. That's my least favorite thing is public speaking.
Yeah.
But especially something as a podcast, I think is a really niche and nice way to get into it because you're just talking with a friend.
It's not too hard then.
And me and you can talk for ages anyway. We had a call the other day and we just looked at the phone. It's already been an hour and a half. We're like, where's that gone?
Yeah.
And so do things that you're interested in also. I think that there's no way you'll be able to stick to this, to a YouTube or a podcast grind or whatever, if you don't like the content that you're going to be making. Even though we haven't properly started it, from one video that we have filmed and doing this process, I know I, for one, am going to really enjoy it.
I personally, I've only just gotten into podcasts recently.
Right.
And it's just I can usually listen to podcasts when I'm not doing anything like typing wise, because if I type and I'll just start typing what they're saying. But
really?
Yeah, but it's so nice and like currently we have so much stuff that's like really short form content, like Snapchats are really short, Instagram videos are really short, TikToks are really short. Not that I use TikTok.
I was about to say I am too old. I'm an old. This is how I've realised I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Is that I've not got TikTok. I have no idea really how it works. I know it's popular, but it's even a bit of a Snapchat. That was it. We were at the end of Snapchat, I'd say.
At the beginning. Sorry, at the beginning of
Snapchat.
Beginning of Snapchat. I don't really use it though. Still.
I don't use it.
No.
It's just Instagram, and I don't use Facebook either, except for Messenger.
Oh.
Primarily, I have Facebook, and I wish someone happy birthday, but I don't really post anything on there.
I recently got rid of my Facebook.
You got rid of Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I just.
Is it just Instagram for you now?
It's just Instagram for me, and I use Messenger, obviously.
Yeah. Do
Um,
you have Twitter? I don't even have Twitter.
I
We're
don't have
going to have
Twitter.
Twitter for this, but like,
We are going to have Twitter. I'm just gonna live on that Twitter account and make it my own.
yeah, yeah.
And then just use that.
Instagram is definitely the one that's my go-to social media app now.
Same. Maybe it's because I like all the I'm just more of a picture-y person.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
I think at the beginning when it was primarily just picture orientated, it wasn't quite. I enjoy looking at the pictures, but it was difficult to really gather what was going on in someone's life. But with the stories element, and obviously with direct messaging and so on,
yeah,
I think you can do everything that you can do on other social media accounts, but along with a really like nice picture as well.
Yeah, and you can slide into DMs a lot easier on Instagram as well, which is important.
Not
that I
you
slide into
professional
DMs.
at sliding?
I don't slide. Ask anyone you know.
Have you ever knee slid
I've
into someone's DMs? You must have done.
I might have done. I mean,
you must have done.
I'm not going to expose myself like this, Cameron.
Okay, fine.
I'm not this foolish.
I want names, Si. I want
names, dates,
yeah,
and their numbers.
Okay, and their numbers, yes.
For future use. No. I have done, and it's nice to do that. I have done, yeah. Because you know,
now you've changed it. Now you want to tell me.
You follow them, they follow you back, and you're like, "It's a girl, boys." Green light.
Well, it's a green light. Well, how do you get them to follow you back?
I don't know.
Your raw sex appeal, isn't it?
Well,
I would follow you back. I
would follow me back.
Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, no. I guess it's odd for us to give people tips about starting YouTube when we're literally starting it ourselves here.
Yeah.
You obviously are more advanced than I to talk about it because you have started a YouTube channel.
But I would also argue that it's been been in a slump, put it that way, due to lots of personal and interpersonal reasons.
Interstellar reasons.
You know, there's been a bit of a breakdown of communication and, you know, commitment available from other people, so you know it's difficult.
Okay, but for the viewers, I guess that is also an issue or a difficulty of starting a YouTube channel.
Absolutely. But I think
you need to be committed to it if you want it to grow. So.
Yeah. And it's fine starting a YouTube channel with a group or with another person. But my biggest advice for that would be not to throw shade at anyone. Is to. I'm about to.
Yeah.
Is to sort of make videos on your own as well, if you can. If it's possible for your type of niche to make content on your own, then do so, because if anything, it opens up opportunities for you further down the road. So, for example, for me, I thought, okay, if I start making videos on my own, it's going to ruin the dynamic. It's going to ruin the flow of the videos. They're not going to be as funny. For Wheel Talk, this is. And so I put myself off doing it. I made one, which I really enjoyed making and was really good in the end. But I took it down eventually because I was like, oh, it just doesn't feel right. But I think if I carried on down that line, I'd have a big portfolio of me on my own.
And I'm sure they would have done just as well, or maybe even better.
I would have liked to think so, yeah.
But I'd say the two key things there is that you enjoyed making it. You enjoyed the content you were making. And so if you enjoy it, you'll be more motivated to do it more consistently. And
I think when you enjoy a video, when you enjoy making a video and you enjoy like featuring in it, it really comes across on camera. It never in the beginning stages of Wheel Talk, it didn't really come across because neither myself or my colleagues liked being on camera. Especially talking to a camera, it's such a strange thing. You feel like I can't remember what the word is, or the term, but you feel like you're impersonating someone.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to railroad over your story, and I don't also want to give away what we've done.
Yes.
But I have never spoken to camera until I filmed my part of that video that we keep referencing to.
Okay.
But that video, I was abroad in a foreign country and on my own, so not with you.
Yeah.
And so I had the double whammy of, for the first time, talking to myself, but also in a foreign country.
You had the
with
worst
everyone
of it,
looking at me funny, and I've never done it before. But even just in that circumstance, I thought, just after I did my first 5 or 6 points of the camera, I was enjoying what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it was just a bit like, screw it. If they, if people don't like it,
But
then
you got to think,
what
like,
are they going to do?
exactly,
I'm
what
doing
are they
something
going
I
to
enjoy
do?
it.
Yeah.
And I guess in a sense, like, they don't know me at all. There, there's no worry of someone there coming up to me going like, "What are you doing, Cameron?"
As long as you're not doing something illegal, like, if you're filming yourself doing Olympic poses in Poseidon's temple,
yes,
they're not going to be happy with you doing that, obviously, but that's just because of the nature of what you were doing. But, you're not doing that. You're talking to a camera.
no,
It's fine.
You're not harming anyone else, are you?
As long as you're allowed to film there, it's 90% fine.
Well, I actually got, as you'll hopefully see in the video, I got told off for one place for recording. Quite a historically famous place.
It's not Poseidon's temple, by the way. I'll point that out right now.
No, not Poseidon's temple. But yes, so look out for that whenever that does come online. But
and we don't even have an ETA for that, really, do we?
We don't, because you still need to refilm your part, which during this lockdown
is pretty much impossible.
So we'll make sure to tell everyone when that is actually coming out, that video.
Absolutely.
Could be a little while from now, purely because of the virus. But as soon as we can, we will have that.
We will 100%. But
yes, so
I'm excited
just to recap, I'm excited for it. Well, to be honest, the footage I did could be the most horrendous, cringiest thing anyone's ever seen, and it probably is.
Well, if nothing comes of it, I'm gonna upload that on its own.
On its own, just to mortify me.
Yeah, please. That's okay.
So that will be something to look out for.
Yeah.
But yes, just to recap. So difficulties of starting a YouTube channel. For me, it would be not having the time, not being interested, which affects the consistency of how much you're going to put something up.
Yeah.
And then for us personally, and also like equipment.
Yeah, the equipment's a big deal.
The best equipment.
Yeah, that's a big trap you can fall into. Oh my god! And really, all you need is your phone and
some
banter,
recording software, and some banter. The
thing is, though, if your type of content could revolve around no editing, this, for example, is going to be very minimal.
It's a dream. Especially for someone like me who has no technical ability whatsoever. I hope to learn some, but this kind of form of content is just beautiful.
Yeah.
But we will have more high quality stuff.
We will.
Editing and so on. But at the moment, this is the best we can do. But shall we move on to what we hope will be the last section on most of our podcasts?
Yes. Would you like to give it a little intro? Sorry.
Yeah, so it's basically an opportunity for you guys to ask us questions. So every podcast we will take a few questions from Instagram. So send us a question either in the comments on one of our pictures, or a direct message, or in the comments on YouTube, or on the email, which will somewhere hopefully be. So I will put some information to this somewhere.
Yes.
And please send us questions, because we really want to hear from you on anything, really. Asking for maybe some advice, just a question on something to do with our lives, and we will try our best to answer them, even if we don't get to them directly in the next podcast. We'll get to it in a later one, and we'll always reply to you in the comments and so on.
Yeah.
So we would love it if you'd send us in a question. But obviously, seeing as this is our first one, we have no viewers yet to send us in a question.
No.
So we thought of a question each, so you guys at home kind of have an example of what we mean.
Yeah.
Just to ask each other now in our Q&A segment to finish up the podcast.
Yeah.
So shall I ask you the first one, Simon?
Yeah, absolutely. You go first.
The one I have for you is, seeing as we are a challenge channel.
Yeah.
If you could film a challenge with any celebrity, who would it be and why?
Any celebrity.
Any celebrity.
What, dead or alive, or like they have to be alive?
Oof.
Should we limit it to alive? Because then
Limit
it
it
might
to alive,
happen. It might happen.
It might happen. It will happen.
It will happen. Okay.
Okay. But now, please
but-
don't say someone too big, because then it won't happen.
But like, you know,
You're going to say someone big, aren't you?
No, definitely not.
The Queen.
The Queen. No. There's a lot to think about though, because you've got to think.
What kind of challenge? Shall I give you a parameter of a challenge?
You can do. I was just gonna say.
Oh no, you tell me what you're gonna say.
I've got a couple of ideas. Let me walk you through one of them. James May.
Hero, yes.
I think he would be a great laugh.
Yes, he would be. But then his constant drivel about something. Actually, no. You were probably someone who could.
I can appreciate
his mechanical
that. Yeah.
And technical insight. No, yeah, that's very true.
You know, and
yes, no, I can see that.
And I think it would be cool to have a challenge across the generations. You know, from the 1800s to the 1997s.
And I know I can see that actually.
I think that'd be quite cool.
Yeah, no,
and then
I assume it'd be something driving related.
Something car or driving related, or you know, how can you improve the hearse? You know, the hearse or something. You know, just stupid challenges like that. I think that'd be quite fun.
Okay, yeah. Do you have someone else as well, or just for me?
Well, actually, I'd like to put it back to you. Do you have anyone? Because I felt like there was a little light bulb that went off.
Well, my hero, Jeff Goldblum.
He would be amazing.
Oh my god! If I could get any, I tell you what, I once saw him hum just a tune. It was something like 2.5 minutes just of him doing that.
Yeah.
And I was captivated by it. So maybe I could just ask him.
He's just a captivating man.
I love him. I love him so much. I have in the back of my little car. I have a picture of Jeff, just like shushing people. And I just love him. I love him so much. So I would have him most definitely for any kind of challenge. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if it was just that. Let's see how long we can hum for with Jeff Goldblum. He would win, but just to have him there.
You'd be humbled. Yeah.
I'd be humbled. I probably wouldn't be able to speak. So yeah, it would be Jeff.
It'd be
Absolutely Jeff.
Okay.
Because I love my sport though. And my greatest sporting hero is Roger Federer. So if there was kind of a sporting challenge or any kind of thing that
Great guy.
Roger and that, just such a beautiful man as well. Such a lovely guy.
Quite attractive.
Humble. Quite stunning.
Quite stunning.
Not quite stunning. He is stunning.
Stunning.
Perfection.
Okay.
But anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, that would be mine. Yeah.
What would you do with Roger Federer? What would be the challenge?
Well, I guess obviously a tennis one is just been there, done that.
No,
so I'd probably test him at another sport, and obviously my sport is cricket.
Okay.
So I might get him facing a few deliveries and see if his hand-eye coordination is as good, but with a cricket bat.
This is when you bowl a few at him and he knocks him out of the park, and he's like, right, well, I'm taking up cricket. Get fucked.
Yeah. I'm better than you.
Yeah.
And I've never done this before. Yeah, probably. But it's Roger Federer, so you just put your hands up and be like, fair play.
You just bow down and you're like, cool, mate. No worries.
It's Rog.
It's Rog.
So, yeah.
Most of my heroes aren't, my biggest hero is musical, so I don't know what I would do. Really.
Well, the thing is, you don't even have to have something, I guess, related to what they do. You can just have
but if I was talking to them, I'd want to know their secrets, and I'd have to talk about
Who is
John Mayer?
Next question.
He's a guitar player.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I know John.
You know John. We're pals.
There's no Jack Johnson, but I know.
Jack Johnson would be up there as well.
I love Jack Johnson.
I love a bit of banana.
Oh, banana
pancakes. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Speaking of,
I think we'd still get them on.
Yeah, but I wouldn't know what I would do in terms of like a video. But I think the point here is the point of this little question is we should be trying to give people an idea of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think of someone that would be really good for that.
Well, but like you said about James May.
James May, I think would be quite good.
Challenge.
Yeah. I can't. Okay, apart from that, I can't really think. I thought
I've put you on the spot here.
you have put me on the spot here. I probably should have had something prepared, considering I knew the question beforehand.
You knew the question. Well,
I don't have any. Okay. You ready?
okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay. Tom Cruise.
Oh my days! And he would be, just say that you're interested in Scientology, and I'm sure he'd be up for doing a video.
I mean, I don't know about
Just
that.
to get you through the door.
You realise by saying his
sign up
name, we've now excluded ourselves from ever being in a video with him. And also, he doesn't really do stuff like that.
And that was our next video.
That was our next video. I know. We've just ruined it now. I've ruined it. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'm sorry. I love Mission Impossible.
I fucking love Mission Impossible so much.
No, I actually think he's a tremendous actor. I saw him in something recently. Tom Cruise. Oh my god,
Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise in Tom Cruise. Sorry, I've ruined that.
No, oh my goodness. No, move on.
Move on. Okay.
God damn it. Oh, Valkyrie. Have you seen Valkyrie?
No, I don't think so.
It's top fan. He's a great actor, to be fair to him.
He is really good.
Questionable personal beliefs, but he's a great actor.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
I've saw a really weird story about him. You're probably not going to care as much, but I thought it was funny, so I'm just going to spew it at you anyway.
Spew it. Go ahead.
So, to the debut of, I think it was a Mission Impossible film, he turned up, he bought a Bugatti Veyron, okay?
As you do.
And no one could get them at this point because they were sold out everywhere, and it's a big deal.
It's Tom Cruise. Yeah.
It's Tom Cruise, and he turned up to the red carpet in it, and obviously I think he had his co-star or a wife person in the passenger seat. He gets out, he comes around, he tries to open the door, and he couldn't open the door for 20 seconds. He was just fighting with this Bugatti's door handle.
Wonderful.
And as a result, Bugatti have banned him from buying a Bugatti ever again.
Can they do that?
Yeah.
Can they do that to Tom Cruise?
Apparently.
Can they ban Tom Cruise from doing something?
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's physically possible.
That's what I mean. He literally does the Mission Impossible. He could get around that.
Yeah. But
he couldn't get around the door handle of a Bugatti.
No, but
that was his Mission Impossible.
Yeah, that was his Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
But yeah, they banned him from buying a Bugatti ever again, which is strange to me. You messed up, not Tom.
I just love the audacity from Bugatti. They know they've got everyone on strings. They'll be sold out with their car. So they're no, we can still ban Tom Cruise for our mistake and still be where they are.
Yeah.
Fair play to them. Fair play. I wouldn't have the balls to ban Tom Cruise, would you?
Well, I think we inadvertently, accidentally just did. By mentioning his name. But apart from that, no. If Tom Cruise wants to come on the podcast or wants to come on a video with us, please.
We will consider it. We're not saying it's a definite yes. We'll consider it.
I don't know if you've seen this, but there was a Top Gear episode where they race a car against climbers, two mountain climbers.
Yes.
And they have to get up the side of the cliff face, and he has to drive up to the top. I could do that with Tom Cruise because he's a big climber. Yeah,
I was assuming you weren't the one climbing the.
No, yeah, thanks.
The cliff. Just in case you weren't going to clarify that. Yeah.
Lack of trust.
No, you could do that, and if Tom is listening,
yeah.
Once this is all over, get climbing up a cliff, and we'll record it.
We will record it, on our phones.
Yeah. On our phones. Yeah, we're only high quality here, Tom, all right? We're only the best.
To be fair, we do have a lot of professional equipment, so we're fine.
Which we can't use because we're stuck inside.
Yeah, but we have it.
We have it, though.
Flex.
Okay. Well, do you have a question for me?
I do have a question for you, sorry.
No, it's fine. We go off the tangent.
We do. My question to you is, what is your second most embarrassing travel story?
Second most. I like it because as this has definitely not been pre-planned about these questions. No. But I do have arguably the worst but funniest story while traveling.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to reveal it now. It could be a podcast all on its own. it's spectacular in the fact that it is all 100% true and all 100% tragic.
Tragic.
So so that'll come in.
You'll laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah,
it'll all happen.
Yeah. And so that'll come in a podcast down the line.
Yes.
But I have been thinking about my funniest story while traveling.
Good.
And it came with another friend. I know, crazy. I have another friend.
Okay.
I'm
hurt.
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm so hurt.
Mentioning no names, but it begins with N and ends in ick. So Nick.
Nice.
And he and I was in Greece, and he had been talking to there was a girl that worked there.
A spicy señorita.
Well,
wait, hold on. Is there a name for a señorita in Greek? Like, or is it not as sexy? Yeah.
I know little Greek, but it's mainly to do with food, the most important stuff.
Nice.
So
okay.
I couldn't go with señorita, but for the sake of the conversation, her name was Mary. The most Greek name you could think of.
Yeah, okay. I was expecting Papadopoulos.
No, Mary.
Mary, okay.
And she was somewhat flirtatious, but she spoke no English.
Right, okay.
Okay, maybe like, okay, hello. That was it, really.
Okay, yeah.
And so we were there for a good 2 weeks, and I'd say for the first week, 9 days, every time we'd see her, he'd be, calling her over, being quite flirtatious with her. Yeah. She'd be laughing at whatever he was saying, because he's not funny anyway. I assume that's the only way she was laughing, because she didn't understand.
Right, okay. She was just pretending to know what he was talking about.
Exactly. But we had a kind of routine that every night him and I would go to the pool, because we're bad men, which was supposed to be like banned after a certain time, but we've been going there a long time, and the owners are fine with it, and we'd be there, and we'd just like listen to music and talk about, set the worlds to right up there.
Brilliant.
Every night.
Yeah.
And she started to kind of notice this routine, because she would stay also in the hotel.
Okay.
And so a couple of times she'd now come out and join us.
Right, okay, nice.
And then one evening, and it was all I was like, how this is progressing, as they can't speak to each other.
Okay.
They're now under like the same blanket.
Oh my God.
But no, not like really getting, but they're still being quite, flirting, and it was all very sickly, to be honest with you.
Yeah. You were kind of wishing you weren't there.
I was, but then it got to a stage where Nick got up the courage to start actually talking to her and trying to really get.
I'm sorry.
What her feelings are.
I'm sorry, really quickly. So yes. He wasn't talking to her, but somehow they were managed to be sharing the same sun lounger and a blanket. How does that happen?
Talking through the means of translation, Google Translate.
Got you. I got you.
So
okay.
The whole time before that, he would just kind of say like, "You're looking lovely." She'd giggle, even though she didn't know what he was saying. He could have said, "You look terrific," and she'd kind of giggle.
Okay.
Or for her, and so maybe she knew odd words of English, yeah. But this was the first time we were trying to actually have a conversation with her, but through Translate.
Right. Okay.
And because he's very, very lazy, and because I was dumb as well, I would be typing some of it to give to her.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get but anyway. And so, they're talking, just asking, kind of flirtatious questions. Oh, what? I don't know. You think of them, they were saying it.
Okay.
And then she just suddenly hands me the phone, because this is how ridiculous it was. Like, she'd hand me the phone, I would read it to him like he's the kind of prince that he is, and then he would reply to me, "Yeah, ridiculous. I know, it's ridiculous."
Okay.
But so she then gives me the phone after he goes like, "How do you feel about us?" something, and she obviously translated it as like me, and how does she feel about me and Nick? And
you and Nick. Okay. Yeah.
And she goes, "I was wondering," this is the so I get the phone, it goes, "I was wondering, are you gay together?"
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And he's nearly fallen off the chair.
Okay.
Like, and protesting. Like, he's not homophobic in any way.
No.
But he was like, "We are not gay. No, I like women." And he kept saying it, but it was because he was panicking now. He was now shouting, "I like women. I love women. Do you understand?" So he's now mimicking breasts. And she goes, and in her
She's
broken,
terrified at this point.
Yeah, but in her broken English, it was incredible. She goes, "Me too, me too."
Oh yes.
And he goes, no. Like I'm saying that he's going. I'm saying I like women. You know, like breasts,
Yeah.
women. I like. I don't like men. He was like looking at me, going like, ugh, being like sick and stuff. Like I like. And she goes, okay. And then he goes, oh, Cameron, give me the phone because I don't think she's understanding.
Okay.
And so he writes, I am not gay.
Okay.
I like women. And she replies, oh, okay, I am gay. And he goes, and he's like, but I've now read this. I've read this to him.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's taking like 10 days. But he thinks she's still mistranslating it.
Yeah.
So now he goes back. He's like, no, you're not gay.
Oh no.
No, because gay means this. You and you know, we like, you know, each other. And she's like, and then I get the phone back. It's like, no, I like girls. I like breasts. He's like, and then again he's like, no, that's me. I like breasts.
That's me.
And it turned out she had a girlfriend.
Brilliant, amazing.
And she then shows us a picture. He rips off like the blanket. He's like, "You do not deserve this blanket." Da, da, da. He was then horrible to her.
Yeah.
But he was so crestfallen. It was so funny. The moment she sent her broken English, "Me too," after he was shouting at her about how he likes women with breasts.
Okay.
For her then to turn around and be like, me too. And him just, because he wouldn't get into his brain. He couldn't compute the fact that.
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
She, for a penny dropped and how upset he got. It was marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. So for me personally, him shouting at a gay girl how much he loves breasts and how he's not gay, and the fact that she then turned around and was gay was just a tremendous moment. And it's probably my second funniest travel story.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And imagine what the first one's going to be if it's that good, people.
Well, the first one is sadly more, as I say, it's even more tragic than that. It's all on me, heartbreakingly.
It's going to be turned into a feature film later, so get ready for that.
I'm thinking, I've already picked out my actor to play me.
Oh yeah,
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, even though you look nothing alike.
He can do whatever he wants. He's versatile.
He can do. He's got range. He's got range, guys.
He's got range. So yes, but I think on the note of my friend shouting at a gay girl that he's not gay and she can't be gay, I think that's probably a good place to end this first podcast.
I think it is.
But to tell people, please send in your questions because they're going to be so much better than ours probably, and we'd love to hear from you all. And just give us any kind of feedback on what you like less of, what you like more of, or whatever. And I hope you enjoyed it.
I know we certainly enjoyed recording it.
Well, I'm just hoping that it has actually recorded. Knowing us, we've done this and it's all been on mute or something stupid. So if you ever do see this, it'll be an absolute miracle, people. I'm telling you.
But yeah, please comment and give us a follow, give us some feedback, give us some messages and questions and stuff. And
to get a kind of community growing. Yeah. I know it's a community based off just this podcast. We haven't had the challenge videos, but
they are coming.
They are coming. Whenever that is yet to be seen, but we have things in the pipeline.
Brilliant.
And we'll look out for our next podcast, which will be coming shortly.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Okay.
Right.
Bye-bye, Si. Bye-bye, people.
Goodbye,
Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.